All right, welcome everybody to another edition of our financial advice in the middle of the pandemic and impacting our country and impacting the entire world. I'm Brian Manning. I'm a financial advisor here in the Nashville area for Pinnacle Financial Partners, and I am thrilled to be joined by one of my favorite people within our firm, Nicole Dunnigan. Nicole is a ray of sunshine all the time, but especially in this particular time where it feels like the hits just keep coming. Nicole's going to share with us some thoughts and her perspective on how the pandemic is impacting our economy, but specifically individuals who may be facing a really difficult time that was completely unexpected when the year began. We know this is a challenging time, and we love to provide information and education. Learning is one of our 7 values, and so we find it critical to continue to learn together with you, our clients, and the people in our community. And so this is the way we're trying to do that through the pandemic. We know we're not supposed to be together, so we are exploring different options and trying to bring to you webinars that can keep you informed and keep you up to date with the latest information as it continues to change hour by hour. Like I mentioned, Nicole Dunnigan is a financial advisor for Pinnacle Financial Partners here in Nashville. Her book of business is made up of small businesses and individuals and nonprofits, and she's just a fantastic person. And so we are thrilled to have her here to share just a few minutes with us about her perspective on how individuals might navigate through how this pandemic impacts our economy. So Nicole, welcome.
Thank you, Brian. Glad to be here with you and just glad to be able to provide some perspective on the situation and the challenges that we're facing as a city, as a community, and as a nation. So definitely glad to be here to just, shed some light on things and give some advice and information.
So Nicole, if you're like me, I imagine your phone has continued to ring with people trying to get some guidance on what do we see happening within the bank? What can the bank do to help them? So what have some of those conversations looked like for you, and what guidance are you offering clients and the different people that you're talking with in the community about what the bank's trying to do to help people right now as we're all trying to figure out what's going on in the economy?
Yeah. Well, I think right now people have to really understand that nobody's really isolated from what's going on right now. Whether you're a small business owner, an individual working in an organization, stay-at-home mom, we're all feeling the pain point in some way. And so I think it's important, just for people to just kind of take a deep breath and time for reflection. Definitely time to, and I think, well, let me say this. I think right now people are also, everybody is in crisis mode, but we also need to maybe take a pause for the cause. And this is an opportunity for all of us to kind of retool, rethink, and not even just do crisis planning, but even look at some long-term lifestyle changes even. So this is a great time. I've been talking to clients this has kind of been my mantra for a long time, is really living within your means and sticking to a budget, just like your numbers, your blood pressure, your weight, a lot of things that as it relates to your physical health, but also knowing your numbers as it relates to your financial health. So when it comes to having a budget and living by a budget and really understanding what does it take for you and your family to live monthly, what is that number? And having an idea, I think right now, this is a great time to really look at ways that you could cut your expenses, better manage funds, things of that nature. We all know that eating out is more expensive than eating from your own kitchen. And so it can also even be healthier provided you're cooking the right foods and including the right ingredients. So that's just one way that, I personally have been able to save over time is, going to the grocery store and meal preparation and cooking and providing healthy meals for myself. Also looking at things in terms of where you can lower expenses. I think a lot of people sometimes we sign up for cable services and it's just one of those things you pay every month and years go by and you have all of these extra channels and services and things that are underutilized. Are those things that you could really cut some of those things out and maybe fall in love with reading again because you're watching less TV. Just things of that way where you can, things of that nature where you can find ways to cut your costs, self-care at home. Right now, I've talked to so many clients who are at home with their kids. And I even had a client to say, teachers really are underpaid. They deserve $1 million a year. So because people are having to be at home with their kids and be their educators. So even finding ways to, trade self-care with your teenage daughter. You can do her manicure and she can do a manicure for you in return, things of that nature. So I think that's one of the critical points right now is to not only operate in crisis mode, but then to also look at how we can operate for a long-term lifestyle changes that can be beneficial in the long term and that will help us get through this crisis and also just better manage altogether, more efficiently and effectively in the long term.
I think that's awesome. One of the things you said, Nicole, that I think is so true, that because it feels like we're all isolated, you and I are doing this by webinar. We all have to be in our homes or confined to spaces in our offices. And so it feels a bit isolated. So what would you say, or what advice have you given to the people that you've talked with that maybe feel a little bit ashamed about calling their banker and just saying, hey, I'm kind of concerned right now that, I'm not making the money that I thought I was going to be making, or my hours have been reduced, or I'm not going to pick up some of the revenue that I thought was going to come my way. And maybe that's an entirely new experience for them. And there's a bit of shame that they feel for having to do that. What kind of advice have you given or would you give to the person that is kind of wondering, should I pick up the phone and call my financial advisor? Should I have those types of conversations, or what are they going to think about me if I have a conversation like that? Could you share a little bit of perspective on that?
Yes, well, Brian, you and I both know very well that we're fortunate to work for a firm that distinctive service and effective advice is what we live by, and so based on that, we have always been empowered to take care of our clients, and part of taking care of our clients is really having a relationship with our clients. And so I think it's important, I think during this time as, people are feeling isolated and feeling alone, I think communication is really critical, knowing that we welcome phone calls from our clients. We welcome, I love just talking to clients and trying to help them be creative and understand things as it relates to their business or their individual family situations. For instance, I have a client, and as a lot of people right now might be feeling the crunch, clients who may have had properties that were Airbnb. So I think right now being creative, and so a lot of that type of revenue has dried up because people aren't traveling right now. So it's also retooling and being creative. Our healthcare heroes right now are out there on the front lines taking care of people and trying to keep people safe. And many of them are in a position where they're faced with, do I go home and potentially expose a family member? Mm-hmm. So, I even shared with the client, could this be an opportunity where if you have a furnished short-term rental in town close to the hospital, maybe there are doctors out there who might think that that's a great option, to rent a property on a short-term basis for a month or 2 months, and just trying to come up with some of those creative ways And so in crisis, there can be opportunity as well, you know? So there could be ways in which, the new normal is that you're no longer doing business as you normally, did business. So it may be that there are some creative ways that we can take our businesses, our services, and serve the community differently. And so those are the type of conversations that I've been having personally with clients, just trying to help them to try to figure things out. Two heads are better than one, as they say. So I don't think that this is a time for people to feel alone. I really think this is the time to have those open lines of communication. And it's amazing as we get on the phone and we talk things through, people say, oh, I didn't think about that. Or I may even, clients will say, I want to, get your advice and get your opinion. What do you think about this? And I'll say, hey, that sounds like a great idea to me. Or maybe I know someone who would be a great resource or contact. So this is a time that I think people need information, people need support. Definitely, we welcome those calls, and we're here to help. We're providing a service, and as their banker, their financial service providers, we are here to serve our clients and to serve the community. And I think that's what we do best as financial professionals. So I think it's important for people to know that, we want to keep those lines of communication open.
So Nicole, if you could, for a minute, just share if you're talking and you're advising a client or a prospective client, somebody in the community who's feeling the pinch from either the tornado that's come through Nashville or on a larger scale, the pandemic that's impacting the national economy. If they've got some concerns that the money's not there to go with the bills that they've got stacked up, what would your advice be? What are some real practical steps that they could take to maybe navigate through that?
Well, I think it goes back to the point in terms of keeping the lines of communication open. There are many programs and products and services that are available, I think, to assist clients with disaster relief, whether it's from the tornado or from COVID-19. And so the SBA, we're getting guidance every day on updates and changes. I think there was a big vote this morning, where there was a new stimulus package and things that are coming out. And so that guidance is happening. We're just in such an uncertain time right now. So I think contacting your financial advisor and finding out, are there special loan programs and products out there that, you might be able to take advantage of. Possibly, contacting your creditors, are there any options to help with, payment plans and things of that nature. And so banks, I do feel, across our community, across our footprint, and definitely Pinnacle, we're here to help and assist during this very difficult time and help clients to find the right solution that's best for them. And also, I think it's important too for people to borrow responsibly. Again, everybody is kind of in a crisis mode, but we want to make sure while we're in crisis mode that we're also kind of hitting the pause button and thinking things through. It kind of goes back to retooling that budget and tightening up that budget to make sure first, are you taking the proper steps to reduce your overall costs, whether that's in your business or also, in your household. And then after you've done that assessment, determining what your long-term needs, short-term needs may be from a credit perspective. And so if that is, hey, I surely could use an injection of capital, and maybe that's looking at some type of credit facility to help with that. definitely those are options and things that we have that are available and to clients, and just ways that we're able to help. And again, it's based on, also having that relationship. A lot of people may bank at a place, but also just having a relationship with your bank and having a relationship with your banker, and someone who has a vested interest in you, your business, your family, to help you get through this time right now.
So, Nicole, I think what I'm really taking away from this conversation with you is that communication is a good thing. That regardless of what your past communication has been with the bank, or regardless of what the past experience has been with the bank, that right now it's time to open up the lines of communication and to be sure that as a client, as somebody who's using the bank for financial services, that you're open and you're honest and you're sharing about what your concerns are and what you want to know about, but then also to be willing to tap into the resources that the bank has to offer and to have those conversations about what you're concerned about and maybe what the bank can do to help you bridge those gaps.
Right. And that's the only way, honestly, we can figure out a solution, and how we can best help is the honesty, the openness, and working together, bringing that partnership and that teamwork together. Partnership is one of our core values. So we definitely want to be partners during this time. Not just during the good times. If you're a partner all times. So that's definitely what Pinnacle, our organization, we want to just, offer up our services, our advice, and of course the distinctive service that we deliver day in and day out, and just make sure that we keep that going, and we're here to help.
Well, Nicole, I know that your clients and your friends are certainly lucky to have you as somebody to go to in a time like this. And I appreciate you taking the time to share a little bit of your guidance with us today. It's been super helpful, and we'll sure be able to follow up with you as things continue to change. And as new information comes out, I'm sure we'll be back in touch to let you provide some additional information.
Well, thank you, Brian, and best to you as well. So, I appreciate what you do also. You do a wonderful job for your clients, and I appreciate you as much, and just glad to work with you every day as well. So, best to you also.
Well, for those of you tuning in, we're thankful that you spent a little bit of time with us. Please be sure to check out pnfp.com/update. That is where we will provide all the up-to-date information that we have as it continues to come out about any type of financial assistance that might be available to individuals or small businesses or nonprofits. We'll be sure to communicate and offer advice as things continue to change. Again, it's a challenging time for all of us, so please feel free to reach out to your local financial advisor or the office that's closest to you and have a conversation about how this change in the economic environment is impacting you and your household and your business. We're thankful that you spent some time with us today, and we look forward to bringing you more information soon. Thank you.